guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled, Am I the A-hole I am forcing my wife to go back to work or do household chores? And guys, this story is about a guy who's definitely in an unfortunate situation with his wife. A situation that can happen to any guy that gets married and is once locked into the whole thing with marriage. This guy is in a situation where his wife lost her job and essentially refuses to do any work around the house or at some point look for another job. Pretty much declared, I want to be a stay-at-home wife, but the thing is, a stay-at-home wife then has to do chores like cook and clean and go grocery shopping and amongst many other things. It's only fair, especially if the guy's doing all the work, bringing in all the money, but not her. She doesn't want to do anything except sit on her butt and watch TV all day. And this guy tried to be accommodating in the beginning, but that got him nowhere because kindness is always interpreted for weakness. Then it led to a lot of fights and drama and her making out to him be the bad guy. Well, you're going to see here, guys, eventually the guy lays down the law, and to no surprise, she has a freaking meltdown over this. And so that'd be a good one to teach you guys, to show you what can happen, you guys that do relationships, if you get married and your girl either suddenly doesn't want to get a job because she feels like, why should I? You can't make me. Or refuses to do any household chores because, again, why should I? You can't make me. And the crap that a guy could deal with. Also, a situation you won't have to think about is, in this whole drama fest we're going on here, what would happen if the situation was reversed? What would happen if a man was married to a woman, he lost his job, couldn't find one, then decided, I want to be a stay-at-home husband, and refused to do any work around the house. So she'd have to go work all day and come home and do all the cooking, cleaning, everything. She'd be pretty pissed off. And there wouldn't be a woman out there that wouldn't say, you have every right to kick him to the curb. But when a guy does that, or say when a girl does this, then the guy's the bad guy for laying down the law. So just these little things I'd like to point out here in the story. And also when there's a point where things go too far and you got to cut your losses and move on. So important things which I'll get into as I go through this. So it starts off, he says here, my wife and I have been married for 3 years. She lost her job 2 months ago and then was going to interviews and all that, but she couldn't clear those interviews. She decided she just didn't want to have to keep looking for a job, and she decided she wants to be a stay-at-home wife. Well, here's a question. Was she actually going to these interviews? Was she, or if she was going, was she sabotaging things that she couldn't get the job? So therefore, well, I don't have to work anymore and I can stay home and watch Netflix all day. One has to ask. He says, okay, no problem, but a stay-at-home wife does the majority of the household chores. Makes sense to me. However, my wife doesn't cook. She basically just reheats leftovers from the night before that I would have cooked. I cook dinner every night, so she just reheats those leftovers. Cleaning, I don't remember the last time she vacuumed or mopped the house. The house is a complete mess. There's dirt everywhere. She doesn't go get groceries because apparently she doesn't want to carry those heavy bags. I do laundry, grocery shopping, bathroom cleaning, yard work, throwing away trash, washing dishes, and everything else. All right, guys, ready? 1, 2, 3, smack. What the hell, bro? You're enabling her behavior. Okay, fine. She wants to be a stay-at-home wife. If this guy makes enough money that they are not only can take care of all the expenses but have money put away, you don't want to just be living paycheck to paycheck. And if he was cool with that and she took care of everything around the house, that'd be one thing. Not to mention kept her body in shape and she would they'd hook up regularly. Okay, fine. But she's doing nothing. And this guy's allowing it, okay? By him doing all that he showed his hand. That he'll let her get away with bullshit. So just like dealing with a child, you enable a child's behavior, they're going to keep doing that thing. And you got to lay down the law. But anyhow, he says, it all came to a breaking point yesterday when I came home from work to dirty dishes, a messy house, and she said that she'd been waiting for me to come home and make dinner. She's sitting around waiting for him to make dinner. Why doesn't she get off her ass and do some cooking? She could have made a nice dinner, but she was just watching TV. But no, she didn't do any of that because she expected me to come home and do everything. What a great girl. I gotta wonder, was she a totally different person before they got married? We got a bait and switch situation going on here. Or I wonder if maybe she wants to divorce this guy. She maybe lost her job. Maybe that was accidental or intentional, isn't doing anything, so he divorces her, and then now she gave herself a nice alimony. One has to wonder. I communicated to her before about how she needs to do at least the basic chores at home, but it always leads to fights. Her crying and then doing some of the chores for a day and then back to square one. Who cares if she cries? Who cares if she gets mad? Okay, she was doing chores for like a day. Well, this guy has to stay on her. But the problem is here, he doesn't have an equal partner in this. It's like he's like freaking babysitting a child, right? She's acting like a child, not an adult. And it doesn't mention how old they are, but I'm willing to bet you, at best, she's in her early 20s. I just couldn't take it anymore. I told her I'm sick of being the only one working at home, and also at home. I said that she needs to step up with chores or get a job. She started crying and said that I'm being very controlling by forcing her to take up a job. Oh, okay, because the situation was reversed. A woman wouldn't say that to a guy. Come on here. Any women watching this would know darn well that if the situation was reversed and the guy refused to get a job and refused to do any help around the house, she'd have every right to be pissed. And every woman out there would say, we'd be laying it on the guy. But if it's a gal, oh, well, then he's being controlling. Bullshit. I said it is what it is, and her crying will not fix our financial issues or do chores at home. She said she's not going to take up a job and that I cannot force her. So I said, fine, you know what? Since you don't want to work, we will no longer have any luxuries at home. No Netflix, cable TV, other subscriptions, internet, no more using the car. You can use the bus. No more outings, buying clothes in thrift stores, and no ordering food online. I also said that apart from the house purchases, sanitary products, necessities, and medical emergencies, she has to run all other purchases by me. Also, no more expensive makeup. She can buy it at the dollar store or Walmart if she really needs it. Okay, now he's starting to lay down the law. This is what he should have done from early on. It is unfortunate that one has to resort to those measures to get someone to behave and not act like a jackass. Now, can you guess her reaction here? She started crying, shocker, and said I'm being too mean and harsh on her. No, he's not. There are other parts of the world where, let's just say, the man in the situation would handle things quite differently, if you catch my drift. She said that she really doesn't want to get a job because it will affect her mental health. Is that what caused her to lose her job in the beginning, her mental health? There are a lot of people out there in this world that don't want to lift a finger to do anything and will find some excuse, their mental health. She'd probably pay some doctor or pay a doctor in one form or another to declare her mentally whatever so she wouldn't have to work. I told her even my mental health is being affected, but I'm not sitting at home because of that. I told her she has only two options, get a job or do household chores. She told me to go sleep on the couch because I was being a jerk to her. I refused and told her it's my bed too and I will not be leaving it. Good for this guy for finally growing a pair. She then went to sleep on the couch. This morning she complained of a sore back and body pain. So, am I being the a-hole? No. You're only being the a-hole when you were enabling her behavior in the beginning, doing everything and working. Okay, that's when this guy was being the a-hole. But no, he's not being an a-hole. And just like I said, if the situation was reversed and the guy was behaving like her, everybody, men and women, would be coming down hard on him. But in this situation, I guarantee this guy's got people that are backing her, saying the whole, maybe she's got mental issues or depression or some horse shit like that. No, she's fucking lazy. But this guy enabled her behavior. In my opinion, this guy needs to really take a good, hard look at his life and look at the big picture. Consult someone that he can trust that actually is neutral and will give him a good, honest answer. 3 years married to her, I think it's time to cut his losses and move on. Now, sure, she doesn't have a job. And so obviously this will make it easier for him to have to obviously pay for her. I don't know where he lives or the laws, but you all catch my drift. But there are times in life, guys, where you have to just cut your losses. Take the hit and move on. 3 years married to her, so I'm going to hope that the alimony wouldn't last too long. It doesn't sound like they have a whole lot of assets together. So this would be a perfect time to cut her loose, take the hit in the short term, because why stay married to someone like this is going to make you crazy. And he hasn't mentioned anything about the loving. I'm willing to bet you there's no hooking up going on, and there certainly isn't going to be any hooking up going on now. But she's a bum, she's a leech, and let her be some other poor, unsuspecting guy's problem. So guys in life, you got to cut them loose. You got to take your losses. That's the main theme of this whole story. In life, bad situation, you made a mistake, got together with the wrong person, or say you made a bad investment, you took a loss, and it's best to just, instead of holding on to that bad investment, cut your losses, take the tax break, and move on. That's what you do. Now here's a few comments before I wrap this up. One guy says here, not the a-hole. Time for her to put her big girl pants on and contribute to the household. By this point, you might be happier to kick her to the curb. Yes. I feel bad even saying it, but is this what you want your life to look at long term? Right. It's not worth it. You want to spend decades with this girl, and the longer he's with her, the more he's going to have to shell out in alimony, amongst many other things. Cut her loose. Another guy says, not the a-hole. Well, you can force her to get a job if you divorce her. If she wants to stay at home, then she needs to contribute to your marriage as an equal partner, instead of playing victim and acting like a child. She can't even do the bare minimum, and her lazy, entitled attitude is a deal breaker. If she continues to refuse to pull her weight, then get a divorce lawyer. I agree with everything he's saying, except if she refuses. No, get a divorce lawyer now. Talk to an attorney. It's done. One guy says here, oh, sadly there is, and they all suffer from I am a prince or princess syndrome and expect everyone else to do everything for them. If not, they'll resort to picking all sorts of tactics like full-on toddler tantrums. You're so mean. All the way to, but I have insert at least 1 to 3 different diagnoses that they have and never even displayed having or ever consulted any form of doctors to be tested, just to make you feel bad for them. And they give a bad name for the people who actually have a depression or problems, or any diagnosis that can make everyday life a bit more tricky for them. Yeah, I don't buy if she has any potential issues, okay? If she would suddenly have issues, some mental disorder, that'd be her making it up so she wouldn't have to do this, because obviously she wasn't like this before. She says, often mommy or daddy did everything for them, or they feel like they are owed an easy life because I did everything growing up, aka they had normal chores. Another guy here says, not the a-hole. Damn, sounds like narcissism at its finest. OP, she's trying to manipulate you hardcore with the waterworks display. I'll tell you this, I'm 5 months into a relationship and I just stayed a week at his house. This is from a woman. She says, I work from home and at the moment. He never came home to dirty dishes, dirty house, bed was always made, laundry done, water in the fridge, something defrosted for supper, and clothes laid out for his shower. This is a good wife or living girlfriend right there. You guys are part of a team in a relationship, and if she's not upholding her end of the team, there needs to be some sort of concrete action taken. Couples counseling, maybe. It just sounds like the worst case of lazy-ass, entitled narcissistic behavior, and that's not fair to you. It is all that. But at the end of the day, this guy, I think it'd be a mistake. I think he'd be wasting his time staying with her at this point. And like I said, the real theme of this story, guys, aside from giving you an example of an asshole and why you don't get married, or something you could deal with potentially if you get married, the whole bait and switch, is to cut your losses. Sometimes you read somebody wrong, whatever it was, you got the bait and switch, okay, fine. It's only been 3 years, cut her loose. Otherwise, what? Stay with her and deal with this constant fighting and turmoil. The relationship should be easy, not this, or not fight with her and him having to work full time. And it sounds like they're barely making ends meet. Come home to a dirty house, no food, no laundry. They'll have to do that too, just so she can sit on her ass. Is she that hot, really? Because I didn't hear anything about them hooking up or her being quite freaky in the bed, fulfilling something to make him happy. No, she's just a freaking lazy bum roommate, acting like a child who's entitled and deserves the world. Bullshit. Cut your losses, move on. It's the best as a guy can do. But anyhow, guys, that'd be a good one here. Perfect example of a situation that could arise for you relationship guys. All right, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know, guys, if you ever had a girlfriend or wife that behaved like this. Let's hear about it. Or if you knew someone, let's hear about it and what did you do to handle the situation. And also, guys, you come across a good story you'd like to share, whether it's your own personal story, something you found online, or a good article you'd like me to cover, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just make sure it's written really well. If you do it yourself, I can read it, and I'll definitely cover it down the road if it works for the channel. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.